Hello, everybody. I'm here with MiG Ayesa, and we're excited to have you coming to Reading for our New Year's Eve concert. The Windborne production, The Music of Queen, a Rock Symphony. And hi, welcome.
Hello, how are you, Nicole? Thanks for having me. It's great to speak with you. And I'm so excited about New Year's Eve and coming to Reading. It's going to be amazing.
So we'd love to hear about your background just to kind of get started and how you became the vocalist for Windborne's production of The Music of Queen.
Well, basically, they couldn't afford anybody else, so they got me. No, that's not really the truth. The truth is,
I doubt that.
Well, actually, Windborne have got very high standards, so I'm actually quite honored to be asked to do this and to be a part of the group. I'm new to Windborne. I've done a few concerts with them, but where I've come from, you can probably hear from my accent that I ain't from around here. I'm originally from Sydney, Australia, but I lived for a while in London, where I worked in a musical called We Will Rock You, which is a Queen musical. The Music of Queen, it's set in a musical. Brian May and Roger Taylor were musical supervisors of the show, and Ben Elton wrote the book. It was a huge production in London, and I played the lead there for several years. And that was my first real introduction to the Music of Queen. That's how I started to, well, I've always been in love with Queen, but to actually perform the music and to be part of this Queen family, that's when I really, really dug deep. And Brian May was so supportive in the way that he was nurturing the way that you would perform the songs, and Roger Taylor was also coming backwards and forwards to all the opening nights, and so I got a chance to really get firsthand information of, you know, how Freddie Mercury would perform these things, or why these things were written, or why this music was done. What's the meaning behind this song? So I guess I grew this fascination in this. In some way, I'm a bit of a Queen addict. I mean, I'm such a Queen nerd. I love everything about Queen, and I've listened to them, all my life, but really get a chance to perform. That's when you really get to appreciate how brilliant their music is. So that's how I started with the Music of Queen. But then also in London, we were doing these Queen symphonic performances where there'd be 4 different singers from We Will Rock You, but coming together with a 6-piece rock band and a full symphony orchestra. We used to do this actually in around the UK, Ireland, and Scotland, and Wales. We would perform in front of castles, and we'd have these huge events, like open air events in front of castles, and we'd have fireworks, and it was a huge extravaganza, and it's actually one of probably my favorite gigs ever. So the fact that we get a chance to do something like that here in the United States with an amazing group of musicians who are Windborne music. They're all amazing A-class musicians in their own right, with a pedigree and credentials that will blow your mind. To come together to play with the Reading Symphony on New Year's Eve, by the way. Now there's so many causes for celebration. New Year's Eve, the end of 2021 as well, because let's face it, it's not been anyone's favorite year.
We're ready
to say goodbye to this. Yeah, we're ready. New beginning. Let's see what 2022 brings.
Yes.
But we want to do it in style. We want to, if we can say goodbye to the old year, say hello to a brand new year. What better way to do it than singing this incredible music of the Music of Queen with a symphony orchestra? And I've never been to Reading, so I mean, this is a win-win for me in so many ways.
Tell me a little bit more about the uniqueness of kind of pairing a symphony orchestra with kind of this rock band feel. Like, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, well, I think probably the Music of Queen, if you're talking about the rock combination of rock music with symphony orchestras, nothing could be more perfect in that union than the Music of Queen with the symphony, because such amazing songs that when you listen to the actual Queen recordings themselves, they do have full orchestras in there. but the nice thing about this and with the arrangements of Brent Havens is we're taking songs that you may not have thought of it being married with a symphony orchestra, and then it becomes this symphonic
Mm.
cacophony of rock and strings and brass and um, actually, but one of my favorite bits in the whole show is when we do Who Wants to Live Forever. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's really purely it is just the orchestra. I mean, the rock band do a little bit of things here and there. But it's the arrangements of Brent Havens, and really, it's a chance for me to really dive in and be surrounded by and be indulged by the Symphony Orchestra of Reading. I mean, one of my favorite moments of the whole show,
That's
and it gets a chance to really showcase the full orchestra. And it's really we're just a supporting act there because it's really the orchestra that give this beautiful arrangement, this beautiful song. It's new lease of life.
But like in a summary, what do you have in store for our audience on New Year's Eve?
Wow. Okay. Just expect to hear some of the greatest rock songs ever written from one of the world's most iconic rock bands, performed in a way that you only imagine they could possibly be performed with the beautiful symphony orchestra at Reading. It's just something that you'll never forget. It's an unforgettable experience.
Thank you so much, Mig, for joining us today. We're looking forward to hearing you sing on New Year's Eve in the Santander Performing Arts Center with the Reading Symphony Orchestra. So thanks again. We really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having me, Nicole, and I really can't wait for New Year's Eve. It's going to be awesome. Reading, I'll see you there.